I'll try to do this without my glasses. Okay. Falco's had some big moments in the last year, from the success of the Target program to progress on our advocacy work in Washington. From the new frontier in member services to bringing focus to women issues, we've been busy and we've made a difference thanks to you and your clubs. Here are a few of the things that I'm most proud of. First and foremost, the fantastic success of our Target Water program. Thanks to the generosity of your clubs and club members, we've been able to raise over $150,000 for water. Over $130,000 of that alone went to Tabitha Wells, and another at least 20,000 went to other water projects. So that's about twice the original goal that we set back in 2009. And you will hear much more about this from Antoine Orshot, the Target Program Chair. So really, thank you for that. In September of this year, the Falco Board appointed an evaluation task force headed by, moderated by Monica Jabali, the third VP, with a cross-section of members from the foundation, from clubs, from task forces. We went out and got feedback from the Target project, and they came up with recommendations on how to make it better the next time. The recommendations were delivered to the two boards, the Falco boards and the foundation boards, in February. And I am happy to announce today that we accepted all of their recommendations, all major recommendations. They were very thorough, very thoughtful. So thank you to the task force, all of you guys sitting out there. And you will hear much more about that on Saturday. The second highlight was naming women and girls as the focus for Falco's global work. I mean, it seems very commonsensical, but we've actually never explicitly named that before. At the request of our NGO team, and as part of Falco's effort to participate more closely and more effectively with the UN, the Falco Board voted in 2012 to articulate our UN focus, making what has been explicit, and naming women as the central theme for Falco's global outreach. Within that umbrella, we have identified 4 specific areas of focus: education, environment, human rights, and health. This will clarify the work of Falco's Global Issues Task Forces and future Target programs. We will always have what we heard yesterday from the US mission, the gender lens on our programs. That means that these programs must support the overarching goal of improving the lives of women and girls. In June, Falco joined UN Women as an organization through their US National Committee. Pam Perot, our NGO director, participates in regular board calls with the local chapters in the US, and we're participating in regular UN Women activities going forward. I'm extremely proud of our US team's advocacy work this past year under the leadership of our US liaison, Lucy Lederick. In April and November, Lucy met with senior officials from the IRS and the Treasury on our behalf, together with some other overseas organizations like Republicans Abroad, Democrats Abroad, ACA, American Citizens Abroad, and ARO, Association of Americans Residents Overseas. And the purpose of the meeting was to understand the hardships imposed on the overseas Americans because of the new FATCA reporting requirements. In fact, Lucy and Tax and Banking Chair Margaret Spethman just came back from Overseas American Week in January, where they held, I think, over 75 different meetings with congressional offices in a team to basically represent our perspective, our rights. So come to Lucy's US Issues Update session on Saturday morning for more information. As a result of much activity and interest in all of this FATCA topic, Falco has been featured in many articles in the latter half of 2012 in such noted press as the New York Times, the Chicago Tribune, and Le Figaro. And the next thing that I'm proud of is I think we've tried some new things with member club support. We've raised the bar a little bit. After successfully implementing the Falco Best Practices online library last year, in 2012, Second VP Elizabeth Abbott tirelessly rallied our clubs to populate it. 34 clubs have contributed over 50 best practices across the many areas of club development. The challenge now is to get you to continue to use it and keep it relevant and meaningful. In November, Leslie Collinrich, our club president's coordinator, organized the first ever Falco webinar and it was on conflict management. I think the feedback was very positive, and we're going to continue to explore that communication tool as a way to meet your needs. Clubs workshops were popular this year. The topic was mostly on tax and banking. I think Margaret Spethman, along with our platinum sponsor, the company U.S. Tax and Financial Services, went out to, I believe, 6 or 7 clubs this year to give you informational sessions on that topic. And more are already planned for 2013. When I asked my board what they thought their legacy was, several of them said infrastructure of systems and tools. Now that doesn't sound very sexy, but as a virtual volunteer organization, it is important that FALCO strives to professionalize and standardize our work in order to offer a consistent service to our member. With volunteers spanning 4 continents, FALCO handbooks for task forces and committees were developed. We have FALCO communication guidelines, which give instructions everything from letterheads to email signatures to web page postings. The board reviewed the AG's administrative guidelines and streamlined them quite a lot. The conference planning manual was updated to include key conference statistics. Another important infrastructure change was the implementation of the online club profile, which you'll hear a lot more about in the second VP report. But that really streamlined a lot of our work to keep you guys contact updated. And lastly, and very importantly, the FALCO physical archives were moved from Zurich to The Hague, and they're being scanned for electronic storage with the intent that much of it will become accessible online, and you will hear more about that from third VP report. The best parts of the year for me have always been when we, the board, get to go meet you and your club members. This year we attended 4 regional meetings, and they were all special in their own way. Region 2, Scandinavia and Russia, which was held in Stockholm, had an unprecedented number of local club members that attended, and that was so great, because that's the whole point of a regional meeting, is we would like to bring those local club members to introduce them to FALCO. Region 4, which was held in Brussels for Benelux, had new faces from Amsterdam and Rotterdam there. They had an intensive content-rich day, and many of those faces are here today, so I'm happy to see that. Region 5, which was held in Augsburg, Germany and Austria, we always have a great time when we get together. We're very strong, and we had attendance from all of the clubs in Region 5, so thanks to you guys for that. And Region 9 is the last one, which was just held in January in Doha. And what's special about that one is that they had not 1, not 2, but 8 board members from a potential club coming. And they were all very excited about FALCO afterwards. That's the women's club in Bahrain. And hopefully we will get them into the FALCO community soon. Despite our best efforts, we had a number of clubs resign in this term, each one with its own story. Several clubs downsized or disbanded altogether, such was the case for Thames Valley, Hertfordshire, and Aarhus. 2 clubs could no longer belong to an international organization due to a change in their host country's laws or political situation. That was the case for Amman and Egypt. 2 decided that their club's purpose does not enable them to benefit from the FALCO membership, and that was Melbourne and INC Madrid. And 1 decided not to renew after their initial few months of membership because they didn't get to benefit from FALCO membership within those first few months, and that was St. John's Wood. We invited these clubs to keep in touch with FALCO, and should their circumstances change, and when they're ready to offer their members the global dimension again, they're most welcome to rejoin the global community. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to my fellow board members who have done, as always, an amazing job and has made my job very easy this year. I would also like to thank all of our FALCO volunteers who really tirelessly work and give us your time and talent to make this organization what it is today. We're a community of international women who care for our clubs, for each other, and for the world. Thank you.